Mark Twain said, "Kindness is the language the deaf can hear and the blind can see." Extremely powerful words. Yet in today's world, kindness, like Latin, has become the language of old. And I realized this on two distinct occasions. Now, the first one occurred about a year and a half ago. I was speaking at a high school about my career journey as a lawyer and entrepreneur. Now, as a dad of three, I love the chance to speak in schools because I get the opportunity to see the environment in which my kids operate. But that day I got this gut punch because the environment wasn't what I thought. And there was something that happened that day that made me realize this. At the end of my talk, I opened up the floor for some Q&A. And one young man in the back of the room, he raised his hand to ask a question. Now, throughout that hour, I talked a lot about work ethic, the importance of education, and finding your passion and purpose in life. But his question was simply this: out of everything you talked about today, what's the one thing that you feel matters most in the business world? Now, without hesitation, I said kindness. And that's when I got that gut punch. Those kids looked perplexed. Like it's the first time anyone's ever said to them, kindness gets you far in life. So as you can imagine, I was a little bit shocked that day. And I began to realize that my kids were growing up in this generation that didn't understand the power of kindness. And as the adult, I started feeling responsible for this, wondering where we went wrong. And that question ate at me for some time, which takes me to that second occasion. So let's fast forward to last fall. A fellow lawyer and good friend of mine asked if I'd help facilitate this workshop for women leaders in the law. I kindly obliged, and at the end of the workshop, I had a chance to speak to my group of women. And the topic of kindness came up. And as I told them my thoughts on its power and how I've always approached the practice of law with kindness, they, like those kids months before, looked perplexed. Here's the kicker. Despite agreeing with me wholeheartedly that kindness matters, most of those women in that room told me they were rated poorly on their performance reviews for being too nice. Therein lied the issue. So I asked some of my male friends and colleagues whether they've ever experienced something like that, and actually quite a few of them had. So now my question became, how do we go from these little kids being told to be nice to others, share our things, and help out whenever we can, to becoming adults who, especially in the business world, equate kindness to weakness? And it's because kindness, has become a lost language. Society today has created this narrative in the business world, one that tells a story of power, control, and hard-nosed leadership being the things that matter, and kindness being this badge of weakness. And I'm not sure when or why this happened. I remember as a kid going to work with my grandmother, who was the biggest inspiration in my life and taught me everything I know about kindness. And when I'd go to work with her, the people, they were happy, helpful, and they genuinely enjoyed the fact that I was there. Now, in today's world, we have to create a day to take our kids to work, because doing so at any other time causes anger, angst, and anxiety in the workplace. Now more than ever, managers and executives shy away from showing kindness and compassion for the fear of appearing weak. But the funny thing is, the research shows the opposite is true. When people exhibit those characteristics, kindness and compassion, they're actually perceived to be great leaders. Some managers still believe that negative feedback is the way to motivate employees and get the job done. But again, the opposite is true. It's been shown that high-performing teams, some of the best teams in the business world, receive 6 times more positive feedback than less effective ones, which shows that kindness matters. We have to change the narrative. In the business world, in the world at large, we all need to understand the true power of kindness. Now, over the years, countless studies and surveys have been conducted on kindness. And it's been shown that kindness in the workplace leads to happier workers, better customer service, increased productivity, and bigger bottom lines. It's been shown that fair and kind leaders garner high levels of trust from their employees because they make them feel safe. Look, as humans, we all have that innate need to feel safe, right? And that doesn't go away in the workplace. And when a leader is fair and kind and their employees trust them, this is when amazing things happen. Creativity and innovation increases because the fear of consequences has been removed. And when those employees are free to create and innovate, this is when radical things can occur in a company or in the world at large. Now, as individuals, we can use kindness to increase our own creativity and intelligence. In one study conducted by Sean Aker, it was found that engaging in random acts of kindness for 2 minutes a day for 21 days can actually rewire our brains to be more positive. And when our brains are operating from this positive state, as opposed to negative, neutral, or stress, it's been shown that our intelligence increases, our creativity increases, and we become more productive. Think about that, what a little bit of kindness can do for you. Now, on top of that, just witnessing acts of kindness has been shown to have a profound effect. Jonathan Haidt from New York University looked at this exact thing. And what he found was that when people witnessed others' compassionate acts, they experienced this heightened sense of well-being that he called elevation, and in turn acted more compassionately towards others, just by watching someone be kind. Now, when he took this research and applied it to the workplace, he found the same thing. When leaders were fair and kind, their employees experienced this elevation and acted more compassionately and kinder towards people within the organization for no particular reason, no expectation of anything in return. This is how we can change culture. Now, there's one last study I want to tell you about that was conducted in 2017. This study looked at random acts of kindness in the workplace. The study took 100 employees and it broke them up into 3 separate groups: givers, receivers, and a control group. No one knew what the study was about, but the givers were asked to perform random acts of kindness to specific employees labeled receivers over a period of 4 weeks. And the receivers in the control group were simply asked to discreetly keep track of when they witnessed others being kind. And what was interesting about the study was that not only did the givers and receivers report being happier and having a heightened sense of well-being 2 months after the study was over, but those kind acts had a positive ripple effect. The receivers paid them forward, not just to the givers, but to people at large. In fact, the study showed they gave out almost 300% more acts of kindness than the control group, which goes to show kindness is contagious. It's infectious. We can use kindness to change culture of a company or an organization or the world at large. No matter how many people are in a company or a culture, the only number that matters is 1. It takes 1 person, you, to be the catalyst, to infect that organization or that culture with kindness. Because once you do, it multiplies. It's that powerful. Kindness is the power to effect change. Now look, I was taught the value of kindness at a very young age by my mother and my grandmother. And I've tried to live my entire professional life leading with kindness. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. No one is, nor should anyone ever be expected to be. But that doesn't change the fact that it matters in business and in life. And to me as a dad, it matters even more because I want my kids to grow up in a world kinder than the one in which we live today. From the media sensationalizing everything that's wrong out there, to, like I spoke about a few moments ago, friends and colleagues being told they're doing a poor job because they're being too nice. Things have to change. I want to help change that narrative for my kids and for the world at large. You can do the same thing. You have the power to show someone in your life or in your company the power of kindness and be an engine of change. Your single act of kindness can change someone's life, can change the culture of a company, It's that powerful, but we have to change the narrative. So I challenge all of you here today to do just that. Let's all leave here today and be the engines of change to create a world in which kindness is not only the language the deaf can hear and the blind can see, but one in which everyone understands that kindness is power. Thank you.
Thrive Union is a real-world community and life school dedicated to human well-being. Our regular events include parties, game nights, supper clubs, hikes, and Thrive meetings to build deep levels of intimacy, empower us to grow, and improve our world. Our life school provides educational videos, articles, conferences, and educational courses. Visit our website at thriveunion.org to learn more.